So not a lot going on in this episode really. It's a bit of a catch up for you, just to show that I've been doing stuff over the week. Not a lot on the car though. I've been trying to find space for the engine and moving things about with that in mind. So we'll take a look, and then next episode we're moving on to other things. I haven't actually been out much this week, and when I have been out, what I decided was I'd build this workbench. I didn't bother filming that because that's not really too interesting. And the plan was to put the engine under the new workbench, move the Stag onto this side of the garage, the TR7 onto this side, and to lose the workbench over here altogether. And the reason for doing that is we then had more room under the workbench for the engine and transmission. Because the Stag's longer, we wouldn't be able to pull it in, but we'd be able to put it in on this side. The problem with that is, in order to make sure I've maximised my working space, I'd have to reverse in, and it's a bit awkward and stuff like that. What I discovered was, with this stuff that I've got under there, I can actually tuck the Stag in just underneath, and so you can see my marker here. Okay, and so I can actually bring the Stag in and just park it under there, and it's fine. That means I have room over on this side to stick the engine in here. I have to take the transmission off it, but the engine can come in here, and then I can put the tabletop back on above it. So that's the plan. And so I have been attempting just this afternoon to take the gearbox off the engine. I'm just making sure that it doesn't all fall. I've taken all the bolts out, but it doesn't seem to want to come apart. So I'm just having a little look at how to do that now. Well, that took some time. That was hard, doing it alone, trying to get everything balanced. But very slowly, and I did it really slowly just to make sure I didn't do any damage, make sure I had everything off. It came apart. The Haynes manual says to note where the dowel is, and the dowel goes just here. Alright, by the distributor. So that's fine. I don't know if there are others. There's also this one here didn't have anything in it. Maybe it was this one actually. One of them didn't. Yeah, I think it was this one here, didn't have anything in. And then these two obviously have studs in. Like this. And actually it was the stud that came out. So and then everything else, apart from the bottom's a big one. It's a 9/16, but everything else seemed to come out okay. So somehow I'm now going to try to organise this, pull this all the way off, store that safely, move the engine in here. Okay, this is more or less in place, but it's moving a bit too much on the blocks for my liking. Although I can't push it over, so that's okay. It's going to have to do for tonight because I'm physically exhausted now, and I've got to get the crane out of the way so I can push the TR7 back in so that I can close the garage. So I'm going to call it good for now. I'm going to take the straps off, move it out of the way, clear up, see what it looks like. Not an ideal situation, but you can see the Stag now fits in, just tucked underneath. Not in anything. Engine stored over there. I've got space to get in and out. The garage door will shut. So, as I was doing this, I realised that my spotlights have stopped working. I've got two, which is part of the reason it's getting so dark in the garage. I also noticed that that plug over here, this socket, where's my finger? This one is it's actually a bit loose, and a bit of the plastic's broken, so I need to replace that. So I think what we'll do tomorrow is we'll fix that. We'll get some lights up across here. We'll get some lights, more lights up across the top, so I just got a bit more light during the winter. And this isn't ideal because basically in order to work I have to take the stag out, because you can see how close I have this car. But that's what we're going to have to do. At least it might get wet. I mean, it is Wales, so it rains virtually every day in the winter. So it'll get wet, but we won't take it on the road and the salt. So, and of course, that's not great either because it means the engine's not been run apart from to move out and in. But I don't have an ideal solution for this, unless someone lives near me and has a garage I can use. So that's what we're going to do, and yeah, should be okay. It's actually taken me most of the day, but I've got a bit more light in here now. So I replaced what was up there, so the spotlights that weren't working and whatever it was called, I've replaced those, and these ones up here are really quite good because you just extend them. They're very simple to extend, so I can get more, and I probably will. The spotlights aren't working, don't know why. And the light that was working up top, I had moved here, but didn't work. So I took the one that I had over that table, I moved it over here, and I plumbed it in so that it switches on and off with my lights. So everything now comes on and off together. And I also fixed that. You can see how cracked it was. So we've replaced that. I think we still need more light in here, to be honest, but it is better than it was. So I think I'll be buying a few more of these. Get another one over that table. I like these lights better than the spots because they're easy to wire up. So we'll be adding some more of those, I think. We'll replace this junction just here with one that's covered at some point. Yeah, and we'll run it along to here so that we have light there, and we'll get a few more at the top or something like that. So that's what we're going to do. But we'll do that another time. I still haven't tidied up from last week, so I have a bunch of bits here which I need to make sure I have labelled properly and I know where they go. I've also got my transmission there. I've got the bolts for the transmission over here, and I want to make sure that I put those bolts back on in the same place just temporarily so I know where they go and they don't get lost. So I just need to do a bit of tidying and sorting and binning and get everything workable again before I keep going. So I'm going to do that. So this is really a non-car episode, but I'm going to do that outside. I'm going to finish that off. This is showing this just to show that I have been doing stuff, if not much. So I'm going to finish off that off screen. When I come back, what my plan is the next thing I really want to do is take the screen out. But before I do that, I want to fix this apron or whatever it's called, this bottom holder for it, which I think unbolts and then you pull off once you've taken the wipers off. So my plan for the next episode is to take the wipers off, remove this, fix this, and then refit it to make sure I've still got it fitting. Okay, so I've got the shape and the curve and everything right, because I can only do that with the screen in place. And once I'm comfortable with that, we'll look to removing the windscreen.